Shalom. Uh, First, want to say Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of GMS, and shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work. Want to just hit a couple things this morning, and some things that I guess just kind of woke me up. With the recent events, as far as as far as the camp of GMS goes, with some recent changes, it's kind of like even in in the gangster movies, they show you that you have guys that are so-called made, but even still they are always in jeopardy of getting clipped. And the Lord, man, He's not playing, man. He's running a very tight ship right now. So you have to kind of be on point and just always want to, man, examine yourself, and don't get too caught up on outside things. So I guess I'll start here, because we'll just let the scripture speak for itself. Okay, I'm going to start here at, this is the wisdom of Solomon. Of course, that's in the Apocrypha. And let's see, this is, let's see if we can get that. Okay, this is chapter 5, verse 12, wisdom of Solomon. So, or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parteth the air, which immediately cometh together again, so that a man cannot know where it went through. And even as you can use that analogy with how if a person ends up leaving to go do their own thing, or whether they whether they are leaving spitefully, like Izar and a few others, the men of the Lord that maybe being in GMS isn't their lot. That doesn't necessarily exclude them from being the men of the Lord. How they carry themselves and how they do separate from GMS would be a very big sign if they're men of the Lord or not. So let me go on here. Verse 13. Even so we in like manner, as soon as we are born, began to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. And I mean, so that right there is self-explanatory. I'll read on. For the hope of the godly is like dust that is blown away with the wind. So I'll read that again. For the hope of the godly is like dust that is blown away with the wind. So we have hope, but it's like dust just blowing away, because by day living in this hell, which we should be able to recognize that's where we at. It just we live it day by day, so we die continuously. Or you're gonna get frustrated in this thing and get discouraged and want to go do something else, because there's nowhere in the scriptures that says this and that and the other. That's the wrong mindset to have in this time of the game. Let's see, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which disappeareth or dispersed, which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, which tempest mean like a violent storm or a violent wind, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. So like you have somebody who was, basically you had a house guest that probably was getting on your nerve and can't wait for that person to leave. After they gone, you're going to remember them for a minute, but you're going to go right back to business as usual. Verse 15. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward is also with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand, For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. Now, right there, I'm going to stop and say, so quickly how people are falling out right now in this particular time at a heavy, drastic rate. I think right now that's seeing what's going on. That's what's happening. So it's the sifting process, man, and the house is being sifted, and it has to start with the head house first. So this is verse 17. He shall take to him jealousy for complete armor. So basically, man, he's going to take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. So either you're going to be made into armor for the Lord, because clearly we see a change in season now, and I think maybe it's becoming a little clear to me that maybe the Lord is sending for his hunters now, and the fishers that can only fish are being separated from those who fish and hunt. And so I'll read that whole verse again. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and take the creature, which is us, his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of an helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. So he shall take being set apart and sanctified as an invisible shield. So that's the truth. Having the truth and knowing the truth. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. So that's you 2/3. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark, and hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them. Now, what you're hearing right now is that time of temptation, the hour of temptation, which is, man, they're gonna be coming in like a flood. There's gonna be multiple missiles hitting this place. Now that's what them hailstones is gonna be, man. Fire coming out the sky, as a well opening up. So if anybody has ever been to like a dam or something like that, like the Hoover Dam, I'm sure out there or waterfalls or something like that, that's basically what you're looking at, man. That type of volume of missiles coming to hit this place. So really, people, you better, the brothers in this thing, man, you got to really look at yourselves and examine yourselves every day, man, and recognize, man, am I going off? Am I in the right? And pray that the Most High don't put the spirit of idiocracy upon you. And most definitely make sure that he don't put the spirit of the woman on you, to where you realize that, you start doing things and compromising this thing for your women. But let me go in here and let's see. This is Psalms 37. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Which, if you in this truth, your woman most definitely going to be that, because, when you suffering, things may not come, and your time is also going to be pulled away. And so you might be feeling that, you might want to do certain things differently just to appease your home. But I'm going to go into this other story that not too many people have touched yet. They do, but I want to kind of bring it out a little more. Let's see. And first I'll start off with Saul. Saul, the initial king of Israel. And this is something that when Saul was going off, uh, and he was getting rejected. The Lord was rejecting him. This is 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, "Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than to fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king." And that can happen to you in this truth as well, if that is where you at. Now let me, show you what also can happen. Let's see. Let's actually go to 2 Samuel. Okay. So here's, of course, we know this story. This is 2 Samuel 6 and 16. And basically, it started, this story is about David when he danced out of his clothes. And everybody pretty much knows this story, but not really harping on this part of the story. So verse 16 reads, "And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart." Now I'm going to skip down to verse 20, and I'm going to go ahead and read on through the rest of this verse. Okay. Then David returned to bless his household. So he was returning to bless his household. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, "How glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants, as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovereth himself." And David said unto Michal, "It was before the Lord." So right there, whatever you doing for the truth, man, is before all else, man. Period. Now watch what happened, man. Now this is the mind state you brothers really got to be in. Let's see. And David said unto Michal, "It was before the Lord, which chose me before thy father and before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore will I play before the Lord, and I will yet be more vile than thus, and will be base in my own sight, and of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of, them shall I behead in honor." Therefore Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child unto the day of her death. Now, I'm going to explain something there. She had no child by David. So as far as her children that she did have, weren't even, clearly didn't rate. So let me show you another part of this same story that actually kind of gets overlooked a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read, this is 2 Samuel 21 and 7. "But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because the Lord's oath that was between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the two sons of Rizbah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the five sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Mehelethite, and delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord, and they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of the barley harvest. So right there, that's the reason why Michael ended up childless, because she had popped off earlier, and later this is how it came to bite her in the ass. So, man, brothers in the truth, don't get so caught up on these women, man, because, a shameless woman is counted as for a dog, man. So just keep your understanding about yourself. Because, as Isaiah 4 says, and in that day shall 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own clothes, our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now that means that you want to be called by a man's name, you have to have that man's seed to be that man's wife. So you're gonna be, having that bearing that man's children. But that's because women shall be saved in childbearing, and that's in what is that, 2 Timothy? So this is why we don't suffer women to teach. It's not a chauvinistic thing or anything like that. It's an order thing. And the Lord set up his order. So it's the Lord, the Son, the angels, the man, the woman, the children. There is your order. And to get away from that is always going to bring about trouble. You're not going to have a very prosperous go at it. When you're going, basically, man, you trying to buck up against the Lord, man, and that just is not going to help you. And the day of temptation, or should we say, the day of vengeance, man, people just don't have any understanding. And let me, I guess, what is this? Sirach 5 and 6. And say not his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners, which is the people who prefer to transgress the law than be obedient, like as I read just previously, that obedience is better than sacrifice. So to start questioning and try to look for loopholes about everything, that ain't the way to go. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. So make no hesitation, man, to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. So you got to be checking yourself every day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. When now, not with every wind, and go not into every way, for so doth the sinner that hath a double tongue. Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answers. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So, and here we go. This is, I guess, for the scoffers. Be not called to whisper, and lie not in wait with thy tongue, for a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue, which goes for Balu and Izar. So you pretty much cursed yourself right there in us. That's Sirach 5 and 14. Now read it for yourself, man. And you can't say anything about that, man. That's cut up. That's just cut and dry. And so everything that's been done now, man shall be a recompense on your own head. And now anybody that has left GMS, I would just say this: don't think that leaving GMS or being separated or kicked out requires you to feel like you're no longer a man of the Lord. If you are, man, if the Spirit's still dealing with you and you had to be separated for whatever reason or another, understand that's the Lord's doing, man, and for whatever reason it needed to be. So I'm going to read Malachi. This is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offspring of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, as in former years. Now, let me go back to this point in verse 3. The sons of Levi basically are referring to your elders of GMS now, man, and the heads of this GMS, because, man, it's a new world and a new system coming into play that the Lord himself is setting up through the Spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. So, either, you're going to be on it or you're not. So let me go down to verse 6, man. Actually, I'll just keep reading. Verse 5. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerer, and against the adulterers, and against the false swearers, and against those who oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. And now I'll go down to verse 13. Let's see. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the proud happy? Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. So, right now, that you can see that spirit already. As I'm reading it, that you should hear whose spirit that is. If you've been watching these videos, like, well, why do we got to do this? Why do we got to do that? And I really don't see no reason for this. Man, that will get you in trouble. So, with that being said, I think that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to say right now. And I hope y'all was edified, man, through the spirit of power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. I want to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Barakatah, Yahushua, and double honors to the elders of GMS, and Shalom to all the Akim out there doing the work and really seeking the Lord's face, man, the truth, faith, and sincerity. Death to the 2/3, and death to this place, man. And Lord come, Lord come, Lord come. So, Maranatha, Maranatha, Maranatha. Again, Shalom, y'all.